And Iran did succeed in maneuvering into Lebanon of accurate rockets or making the current rockets accurate in about tens of rockets. What does that mean? It means that these kind of rockets can hit almost anywhere in Israel. Strategic assets of Israel, such as gas rigs, seaports, airports, government offices, electricity, power plants, desalination factories, and everything I've just said is a quotation from Nasrallah's speech that presented a map of Hezbollah's targets in Israel, civilian targets in Israel, not military targets. So, and he said very clearly, we have the capability, Hezbollah has the capability to target these places with very accurate rockets. Is it a strategic threat to Israel? Well, I want to believe, since we all have to be optimistic, that the state of Israel will survive these kind of attacks of rockets, but it is definitely can damage strategic assets of Israel and pose a challenge, specifically if it's in times of war, that we will have to handle the fighting in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, and then also being under attack of these accurate rockets. It's a problem.
10 years ago, approximately 10 years ago, I was invited to a building which is not that far from here. It's called the White House. And I was asked to have a discussion with a prominent thinker there, not the president himself. And he was posing a question to me. He said, would the yellow light be enough for Israel to make a decision to attack Iran? I said, look, I'm a private citizen. I'm not representing Israel, so why do you ask me? He said, yeah, I know. I ask also officially others, but I'm interested in your personal views. What do you think? Should the yellow light be enough for Israel to make a decision to attack Iran? My answer was, even a green light should not be enough for Israel to make such a decision. So we said, really? United States giving a green light to Israel to attack Iran? You think Israel should not attack Iran? I said, of course. Because of 3 reasons. By the way, those 3 reasons didn't change 10 years ago up to now. I said, the first reason is, as far as I know, the Iranian nuclear facilities are scattered all over Iran and they are underground. And you need very sophisticated weapons, buster bunkers, and you need to attack simultaneously all of those facilities in order to destroy them. I don't know the Israeli Air Force capabilities. I tend to believe that Israel is capable to harm them, maybe badly, but not necessarily to destroy all of them at once. I know exactly what will happen the minute after this attack would occur. They would run for the bomb and they would say, of course, we have all the right in the world because we've been attacked by Israel. I know also what would happen, and this is what we have discussed before, 150,000 rockets and missiles will be shot, 3,000 rockets a day, for how many days which is needed, and the impact is as if a nuclear bomb was shot towards Israel. The third reason I said, a nuclear Iran is an existential threat to Israel, no doubt about it. Israel should not permit and let this happen. But a nuclear Iran is an existential threat to Saudi Arabia, to the Gulf countries, to Egypt, to Jordan, to so many Arab countries, to so many other countries all over the world. And why the hell should Israel take those hot potatoes for everybody?
So results from the Iranian policy, they actually control 3 Israeli borders. By Hezbollah up in the north, by the Shiite militias in Syria, and by Hamas and the Islamic Jihad in Gaza. The challenge is that Israel cannot fight and win 3 fronts at the same time. Not because we are lazy, not because we are weak, we're just not big enough. We don't have enough of offensive as well as defensive capabilities.
The strategy of Hezbollah is to swamp the capability of the Iron Dome. And I was talking about 3,000 rockets a day. They believe that in that amount, and maybe even more than that, the Iron Dome will be paralyzed almost immediately. So the skies of Israel would practically would not be protected by the Iron Dome. At least that's what they think, okay? Now, I tend to believe that the policy would not be the policy of 2006, the previous war in Lebanon, which was, I would say, the policy of Barda, starting in the northern areas, shooting rockets against the northern, and then Haifa, and then Barda Haifa, which is Hadera, and then maybe suburbs of Tel Aviv. No. This time,
they'll fly above us.
They would fly above them,
right to Tel Aviv.
And they would go directly to Tel Aviv. And the Israeli, that's why I say the misconception. The misconception is not an intelligence misconception. The Israeli intelligence know exactly what's going on. The public is living in a misconception. By believing that the Iron Dome would prevent that, by believing that we are facing the Barda policy, well, until it would get there, IDF will resolve the problem. And unfortunately, it's not the case. And I will tell you more than that. We at the Institute for Counterterrorism, we are preparing a doctrine for the home front in the center of Israel, because the responsibility for the rescue and recovery and the emergency situation is not of the Israeli police or the IDF or anybody else. It's the municipalities. The mayors should serve their own constituency when this would happen. They know that they have this commitment. They think that one missile might fall in Herzliya or in Ra'anana. We'll deal with that. We are talking about few of them, not to say dozens of them, a day. The Iranians are playing chess and the Americans are playing poker. Chess is an Iranian game all about strategy, long term, and so on and so forth. Poker is all about bluffing, fake news, images, and so on and so forth.